Okay, so I've just created this huge, monstrous verb conjugation tester thing to test out my knowledge of verbs and conjugations and tenses, etc. This is in French, but you can do it in any language. So it hangs off of 4 lists that are created. So list 1 is the most common regular French verbs in the present tense. All the usual suspects there, the kind of verbs you'd expect to see there, the regular verbs. List 2 is the most common irregular French verbs in the present tense. So again, all the usual ones that you would need to learn as a newbie to that language. List 3 is the most common verbs with an irregular past participle, and it shows the irregular past participle there, useful for present perfect, etc. And then list 4 is the French verbs that have an irregular future simple stem as well, another tense that you definitely need to learn fairly early on in your learning sessions. So that's the 4 lists that are created, and then there's 8 different tests that use those lists. So we can test our regular verbs, the infinitives, by going from French to English, or we can go from English to French, just testing the infinitives. We can do testing on the conjugations of the present tense. So the first 2 tests are just infinitives. Tests 3 and 4 test whether you can conjugate those verbs in the present tense. And then we've got 2 tests for the present perfect with irregular or regular or irregular past participles, and 2 tests for future simple with either regular or irregular stems. So, for example, if I just say, let's do test 1, quite happily jumps into test 1 and it starts giving me my French infinitives. So I can just type in my English equivalents. So love, speak, all good. Listen. It's a bit of a burp on the thingy there, but it's picked itself up again. Okay, so that works quite well. Let's do test 2. So we're going to switch it the other way around. So we're going to get the English, and we need to put in the French. Jouer, travailler. All right, that's all working nicely. Let's do test 3. Okay, so now it's a bit more complicated because it basically wants me to conjugate this for je. So je parle, looking good, to travail. Spelled that wrong, I think. It's a bit of a spelling mistake, so you can see that works okay. So we'll just jump to one of the other tests. Let's do test 5, can't remember which one that is. So this is the present perfect with a regular past participle. So now I've got to figure out which is the compound verb I need as well. So j'ai travaillé. I haven't got my accent there, but it's probably going to accept it anyway. Yeah, j'ai travaillé. So you can see you've got a whole range of tests there. So if I just rewind back to the list of tests, these are the ones that you can do. So the whole chat contains those tests from those lists. Now the great thing is you can create this entire testing system in 2 seconds, literally. So if I just close this chat down, if I delete it, and if you go into the text that's in the comments, in the description of this video, copy this text. So basically all I'm doing is I'm creating the lists, and then I'm giving it instructions to create the various tests. If you just drop that text straight into the chat, it'll go off, and you'll see what it'll do is it'll create my lists for me of the verbs that we were looking at. So it's just working through creating my lists. There we go. And it creates the test as well, and it's ready to go. All right? So literally, so I say, let's do test 6, and away we go, straight into test 6. So, all right, it wasn't 2 seconds, but it was probably 10 seconds. All good stuff. Enjoy.